All right, so we are looking at our last set of notes in chapter 7 here. So this goes right along with what we did yesterday. So the first half of 7.5 with solving these rational equations. But we have a few word problems we're going to look at. So there are really two different types of word problems, and this is the first one. So we have 2 liters of a cleaning solution that is 80% bleach. You want to dilute the solution with water so that the final mixture is only 50% bleach. Use the given model to determine how many liters of water you need to add. So if I have something that's 80% bleach and I add a little bit of water, it's going to be a little less than 80% bleach. So I want to keep adding water until I get down to only 50% bleach. So here's our new formula. Um, so our new concentration, this is the concentration that we want. That's the 50%. And we're going to work in decimals here. So I'm going to start with 0.5 equals, my original concentration is 80% or 0.8 times the original volume, which was 2 liters. Okay, so basically this is telling me how much bleach I have. It's 80% of 2 liters. Divided by my original volume, we know was 2 liters plus X. This is how much water we have to add. So basically this is accounting for how much water we're going to, or how much solution we're going to have after we add more water. So this, the amount of bleach is not changing, that's this here, but we're adding X because this is what our new total volume is going to be, and we want to do that until we end up with 0.5. Okay, so this is actually pretty simple to solve. I want to get rid of this fraction, so I'm going to multiply by that denominator, so 2 plus X. So then I can think about each side, the bottom canceling with the top, right? This is just over 1. And if I do that on the left, I also have to do it on the right. So I need to multiply by 2 plus X here as well. So then this side is distributing that 0.5. So 0.5 times 2 is just 1, plus 0.5 times X is 0.5X. Equals over here, everything canceled out except for 0.8 times 2. 0.8 times 2 is 1.6. Okay, so then I'm going to subtract the 1 from each side. We have 0.5x equals 0.6. And then divide each side by 0.5, and we get x equals 1.2. And this is 1.2 what? Well, X was how much water I needed to add, and all the other volumes are in liters. So this must be 1.2 liters of water. Okay. So this is the second type of problem then, and we don't have a model for this one. This one is talking about averages. So remember, an average is just, or the way you would find the average would be adding up however much you have for each value, and then dividing by how many values there are. So they say your choir is taking a trip. The initial trip has a cost of $500 plus $150 for each student. How many students must go on the trip for the average cost per student to fall to $175? Okay, so this initial cost of $500 are probably things like the bus. This $150 will have to do with, the more students there are, the more hotel rooms we need. Food might be included in there. So we've got that initial cost, plus it increases for each student that goes. So I want to figure out the average. So to figure out the average, I would have to know the total amount for the trip. Okay, so the total amount for the trip is going to be that $500 plus $150 for each student. So I would have to do 150 times the number of students going. So we're just going to call that X. Divided by, okay, so the average, this is the total cost. I would need to divide that by how many people are going, which is going to be just X because we don't know what that is. And we want the average to be 175. Okay, so then solving, I'm going to multiply each side by x. These are usually pretty simple to solve. It's just making sure you get them set up correctly. So we have 500 plus 150x, and you guys can solve from here too. Equals 175x. So then I want to get all the x's on the right side. So I'm going to subtract 150x from each side to get 25x. Equals 500. Divide each side by 25. We get x equals 20. And 20 what? In this case, that's 20 students. Okay, so this is really the gist of what we were covering today. So it's just that word problem portion. So you have 4 problems to try now before you will do your check.